We'll start, though, in the Premier League. A lot of controversy, wasn't there, about penalty calls this weekend. Andy Robertson, of course, giving one up against Brighton late on. This is what he had to say about it. I've got no problem if my tackle is a penalty, but I was watching the games yesterday and seeing two very similar instances on Rashford and Traore that were unpunished and look very, very similar. Either all three have to be penalties or all three aren't penalties. We're just looking for consistency. We thought we'd be getting that with VAR. Stewart, Robson and Stevie Nicol are with me to discuss this. Stevie, has Robertson got a point?
I don't think so. Listen, you've got to take each penalty or each supposed foul on its own merit. And Andy Robertson had an agricultural swing with his unfavoured right peg and timed it horribly wrong and caught his opponent. It's a clear penalty, and it's actually the clearest one of the three that he's talking about. You know, the one in Traore, I've watched it 3 or 4 times. I'm not quite sure whether there's any contact at all. And if there's no contact, or you don't think there is, then you can't give a penalty kick. The one on Rashford is not even close to being a penalty kick. Rashford, in my opinion, is the one, he's not even looking at the ball. He's on the ground, he's got 2 hands on the ground. He steps backwards towards, I think it's Ward-Prowse. And then there's a bit of a collision. So the clearest one of all, without question, is Andy Robertson's, and the other two, I don't actually think of penalties.
What about the one that we saw today in the Leicester-Fulham game, Stevie? Right call there?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Fuchs. Again, a little similar to the Robertson one. Swings to get the ball with his left foot. Reid gets there before him, and Fuchs catches Reid on the thigh with his either his thigh or his hip. It's a foul. He's impeded him. It's in the box. That makes it a penalty. So 2 spot on, and the other 2 weren't.
Do you agree 2 out of 4 are pens, Robbo?
No, I'm not sure about the Robertson one. I watched it several times and I still can't be sure. Yes, he took a swipe at the ball, but I'm not sure that Welbeck gets much of a touch of it, if any sort of touch. He's going with his studs up and he's dangling his foot out there. I think Robertson's a bit unlucky that a penalty was given. And Stevie's absolute. The other 2 are nowhere near a penalty. You know, and the more we see,
no.
I don't think agree with Andy Robertson is the consistency. You'll never get consistency with penalty decisions because it's the opinion of the referee. He views it how he wants to be. I think it's not a penalty. Stevie thinks it is a penalty, and that's the difference of opinion. And referees are going to have different opinions on each different penalty situation.
Stevie, do you agree Welbeck's just hanging his foot there?
Absolutely not. Listen, Andy Robertson gets absolutely 0 of the ball. 0. Welbeck gets there first. Welbeck 100% gets the ball first. And because Robertson kicks him, it's a foul. It's in the box. It's a penalty. So, listen, Andy Robertson gets nothing on the ball whatsoever. Had it been at the same time or anything like that, or had he got there first and maybe the follow through had caught Welbeck, then I would change my mind. But the truth is, he had a swipe at it. He timed it wrong. Welbeck got there first and he clattered Welbeck. I think it's straightforward, to be honest.
James Milner also added his voice to this argument. Stevie saying a lot of people he was talking to aren't enjoying watching football at the moment because of these decisions.
Who's he talking to? It's supposed to be isolating. They're supposed to be in a bubble, so they can't be talking to that many people.
Well, you can still ring and text people, Stevie.
Okay. I was adding a little stuff to it. Come on, give me a break here. No, I don't absolutely. I don't agree whatsoever. Listen, we want to get the decisions right. And unfortunately, we talk about the decisions they got wrong, which are far less than the ones they get right, in my opinion. So, no, I'm not buying that. It just so happens that him and his team are as well as they're sitting in the league, they're going through a tough time. So, I think it's easier to gripe when you're going through a tough time.
Is it diminishing it as a spectacle, Robbo?
All I would say from a commentator's point of view is that time and time again, I want to be talking about the football and the tactics and what's happening in the game, but so often we're talking about decisions. Was it the right decision? Was it the wrong decision? Was he offside? Was he not offside? And sometimes it's taking too long to make those decisions. So we're not talking about the football as much as we are, and again, we're talking tonight about penalty decisions, about referees' decisions. We want to get referees out the game, and it should be all about the football. That's what we want to commentate on. That's what we want to concentrate on. But at the moment, it's not doing that.
Robbo, we've been saying that since we were playing. And they were saying that before we were playing.
But
so
you didn't spend so long looking at all these decisions and having conversations about them for 2 or 3 weeks afterwards. And was he offside? Was he not offside? That was it.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.